Strategist Hawker here with me in the studio, a former federal Labor strategist, and in Canberra, Grahame Morris from Barton Deakin. Welcome to you both.
Actually in Melbourne.
You're in Melbourne. Sorry, mate. I'm used to seeing you in Canberra. Good to see you in Melbourne. Canberra's lost. None of us are there today. Let's start on the polls, and in particular the Nielsen poll, which is dominating political chatter today. Bruce, Hawker, what do you put this down to?
Oh, look, I think there's a combination of factors, but the government got off to a bad start. I don't think anyone's in any real doubt about that. The resignation of two ministers, on top of their Prime Minister announcing that there was going to be an election on 14th September, a few other issues floating in and out, I think really was a poor start for the government.
And the mining tax issue?
Mining tax was big, and you know, people were very upset, I think, about the fact that only $126 million was raised in revenue from that. Clearly there are reasons for that, including the strong state of the Australian dollar, the Chinese demand dropping. Hopefully that's all going to correct itself in the coming months, but you know, these are tricky things for any government to deal with.
Craig Thompson, Eddie Obeid.
Well, in New South Wales, and it goes on. In New South Wales, there's a particular problem, of course. Every day we open up the Telegraph, the Sydney Morning Herald, we read about Ian McDonald, Eddie Obeid, problems there. And of course, the difficulty has been that the Craig Thompson matter has meant that there's a tenuous but arguable connection between what's happening in the New South Wales Labor Party and what's happening in Canberra, which the opposition's obviously jumped all over.
Before we get to whether Labor can turn things around and how, Grahame Morris, do you agree with that assessment of why we're seeing these sort of numbers?
I don't think I've ever agreed with Bruce in my life, but I do today. Yeah, look, the Prime Minister has come back and her first month is an absolute shocker. Starting with, you know, we had all the stuff where we're not going to meet a surplus anymore. Then we had the Nova Peris stuff, and we had ministers quitting all over her. And Bruce is right, that there's this pyramid, this stinking smell called Labor Party in New South Wales, a sort of a pyramid of dirty nappies, and every time you take one nappy off the top, there's another 5 underneath.
I think your language is a bit more colourful than Bruce's anyway.
And
he's allowed to be. Enjoy it while it lasts, Grahame.
it has flowed through, but the point is that let's say the polls are 2 or 3% out of alignment, out of reality. It doesn't matter. Some of the Labor Party base, anywhere near 30%, some of the Labor Party base has deserted them. And that is a real problem. You know, Middle Australia is already gone. The coalition sort of vote is nowhere near them, and their own base is starting to walk away, and that is very, very dangerous.
We've got to take a break, but then the more important question, what can Labor do? Is it possible, looking at history, for things to turn around between now and September? Stay with us.